Hey everyone, it's Penberthy here. Welcome back to another video. I'm super excited actually to bring this one to you because I want to talk about what I consider to be the 4 biggest assets that I have inside of my business. And what I mean by this is, look, I've produced multiple 7-figure results, and there's so many things that I'm doing inside of my company, so many touch points with so many different stuff, so much different stuff. Like, if you could remove everything from me and just leave me these 4 things, I could continue to produce 7-figure results. And so I think it'd be really interesting for you to know what these 4 things are and how you can start to adapt this into what you're doing as well. Hey, and just real quick, if you're new here, firstly, my name is Penberthy. Good to virtually meet you. And I help entrepreneurs and business owners grow their businesses online, whether that's from traffic generation to sales conversion. We talk about a bunch of stuff here on this channel, and I hope you get some value from it. If you'd like to learn more about what I can do for you and help you, there's a link in the description box and the top comment to some free training that I've got for you, so you can go ahead and grab that. But in today's video, I want to talk about these 4 assets. I was thinking about how much stuff I have going on right now. And to be honest, a lot of things that I focus on that actually don't really produce that much revenue, and I should probably start to cull away from my business. And it got me thinking, if I had to put my finger on 3 or 4 things that probably produce the bulk of the results inside of my company and actually get me the revenue we're looking for, it's these. So we're going to dive into them, and I'm just going to walk you through why I think they're so important and how they've been beneficial for my company. So let's get into this. The first is an email list and an audience. This is one thing that you could take away almost any other asset from within my company and just leave me my email list, and I will be absolutely fine. This is why I teach here on this channel in loads of different videos, and why I teach my students and my coaching students why it's so important to be building an audience, because otherwise every month starts again. Let's say you've got a product or a service that you're promoting online, and you've got just an awesome fancy pants process that takes someone from an online advertisement, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, and it takes them through straight to the sales page, and they can either purchase that thing or not. You might be profitable. You might put $1 into advertising that machine and getting $3 back out, and that's great. Okay, but what happens if those advertisements stop working? What happens if you saturate that particular part of the market? What happens if your product there stops converting? Your business stops overnight. That's it. Whereas if you had this little piece in the middle and you're building an audience, you could, Facebook could stop, conversions could stop, but you've still got this audience of raving fans that like the messaging that you put out, that continue to open your emails and buy your stuff. And so if everything else around you crumbled, if you still had your email list, you could continue sending emails to that list and making sales. And that's been true for me. In the early part of my career, I was building my business on seriously rocky foundation. I found ways to use Facebook as a traffic engine and YouTube and Google, and even had some partnerships, but there was no front door of someone joining my list and becoming a fan and becoming a subscriber. And so this one time, I remember it like it was yesterday, YouTube shut me down. I had my YouTube channel shut down, and it was devastating because I logged in, and at this point I was making about $1,000 a day. It was just me and my laptop, had no staff at that point, so everything was looking pretty good, making $1,000 a day. And then I logged in one day and it was at 0. And I was like, ooh, this is not looking too good. Maybe it's just a bad day. And so I kind of went about my day. Next day logged in, still 0. I literally I didn't realize how much I was actually relying on YouTube for my income. And then to log in and I found out that my channel had gone down and my income literally hit 0. And it was that moment, that day, that I realized, my gosh, I have to have an asset in my business that I control, that everything else could be shut down. And the thing about an email list is, even if an autoresponder shuts you down, an autoresponder is the platform that houses your email database. Even if they shut you down for whatever reason, you can download and export your email list into an Excel spreadsheet, and you can upload it into another autoresponder, and off you go again. You're back in business. So that's one asset that not only can no one take away from me, but if I had to save anything, that would be the thing, because I know that I'd be absolutely fine if I had that one thing. The second thing is actually a skill set that I have acquired over the years, which is as I've been going through my marketing journey, like listen, if you're new to the channel, you're new to my videos, you need to understand something. Like marketing is what I geek out on. Like that's the thing that I freaking love over everything else. I want to learn how you take someone from being a complete stranger to becoming a paying customer. And so this skill that I've been learning over many, many years kind of ties into the whole bigger picture of marketing, but it's not what everyone thinks. Like people think marketing is having the right colors and the right buttons and right images on your sales funnel pages. It's about having the right pages in your funnel in the right order. It's about having email marketing built in. It's about running Facebook ads. Like, listen, yes, that is technically marketing, and that's the stuff on the front. But like the thing behind the scenes that people ignore, and it's a skill set that is so fundamental to the success of my business and pretty much all of my students, that it's made itself onto the list of assets that I can't do without. It's understanding people. Like seriously, when so many people in this space, when they're marketing their businesses, we get a bit stuck in this trap of thinking that everything's a numbers game, right? Like, oh, I got 900 clicks from Facebook on that Facebook ad. Oh my gosh, the clicks aren't turning into conversions. What's going on? Why are my conversions down? And everything's becoming a numbers game, like conversions and clicks, not thinking about humans and customers. And if you start thinking like that, you realize that actually I can tweak my marketing and make it more effective than it's ever been by just purely understanding the person behind it. It's not about getting X amount of clicks to a page. It's about, okay, we've got real people, real humans with needs, wants, desires, pains. They are coming to this page. Why have they not converted into a customer? What have I said to put them off? Or what have I not said that has emotionally compelled them to want to move forward with me? And it's understanding people and how they tick that's been one of the most profitable skills I've ever learned, over learning how to master Facebook ads, over learning how to master YouTube ads, over learning how to put sales funnels together. That stuff is necessary, okay, but it does not trump the skill of understanding what makes people tick. Because if I understand that skill, which I have, and if you do the same, you can take that skill set to any platform. It doesn't matter if Facebook shuts you down. You can go and try LinkedIn ads. You can go flip and do these new Snapchat ads. You can do anything because you've got the skill set to pair up the right audience and the visitor with the right offer, because you know the messaging and how you're going to speak to them. It is critical, and it's one of the key skills. I mean, it's my second biggest asset that I just wouldn't give up. So with the third one, I'm kind of cheating a little bit. It's kind of like a two answers, inside of one. It's my reputation and my network. Okay, so kind of how I've positioned myself online. I feel like they kind of both fall under the same category. But like, what people don't understand, you cannot, and you will find it so hard to scale your company to many, higher heights than you are right now. That doesn't really make sense, many higher heights, but I'm gonna stick with it. You're not really gonna be able to grow your business to where it needs to be if your reputation is not where it needs to be. Like you will find that there's a point in your business when you're promoting your products and services online where actually momentum just kind of takes over. And the stories that you've put out there and the people that you've connected with and the lives that you've changed and the people that are raving about your stuff, that starts to drive your company too. And that's where momentum really starts to kick in, when you start getting fans and those fans are talking about you. But that won't happen unless you built up a reputation, all right? And by the way, when I'm saying reputation, I'm kind of focusing more on, obviously good reputation, right? Like you've got to have people willing to talk about your products and services. Like if you have a product or a service that, yes, you might be able to run some marketing online and get a few people across the line to become a customer, but if you suck at delivering that product, or if your product sucks by itself, okay, no one's going to be talking about it. No one's going to want to share it with their friends. Like one key indicator as to whether you are doing a good job delivering your product or your service is, are people open and willing to talk about your products and recommend them to their friends with no strings attached? They're not looking for an affiliate commission. They're like when you've had that friend of yours that said, oh, you're struggling with that problem. Hey, you should check out those guys, or you should check out that product, or you should go and grab that. And there's no strings attached. Like that's when you know you're starting to win and you're hitting some serious momentum, is when people are talking about you. And that's when your reputation has started to take over. So I focused on this heavily. Like I want to make sure that my reputation is pristine. Now listen, you're going to have the haters. You can go ahead and search, about anyone in this space, or pretty much anything. You're always going to have people doing things wrong. Like the example I always like to give is If you think about Starbucks, right? Starbucks, billion-dollar company, yet they're very polarizing. You either love them or you hate them. Okay, so like they have haters. They have people that are saying this is the best coffee in the world, and you have other people saying Starbucks coffee stinks. Okay, but the reality is they have people that are raving about them. Okay, and that's something that kind of drives their company forward. But they still have haters. You see what I'm saying? They still have the naysayers. And so it doesn't really matter what industry you're in or what products and services you have, there's gonna be those trolls that sit there in their little dingy room and say, oh, you suck. Like, that's always gonna happen, okay? But your reputation, you wanna make sure you're trying to keep that as clean as possible, and we feel we've done a pretty good job at that. And the flip side of this answer was my network too. So like one thing that I've been very big on is building relationships with people online and providing as much value as I can to other leaders within the industry without asking for anything in return, and not even like thinking that, not even thinking I'm going to connect with that person and provide them a ton of value because then about 6 months down the line I'm going to, like, you just don't even think like that. You just make friends with people and you're just a good person and you provide value, and that will come full circle. There have been times where I've been able to call in favors from big names in the industry, and they're super happy to do that for me because I've been providing them value for years. I've done joint ventures with people that are worth 6 figures every single time to my business, and those joint ventures got set up because of my reputation and because of my network. All right, so that's the third one. And then the fourth one, and this kind of comes in a little bit under reputation, but it is worthy of a standalone mention, are your success stories and your successful customers. Like, this is the fourth asset that is more valuable to me than anything else. So, as I was talking about in the previous point, the third one about reputation, like if you do have a good reputation and people are actually using your product and getting results, or they've used your service and they've got good feedback, like collecting and collating those stories is something you cannot avoid. And what's really cool about this is, like, if you can, I've talked about this in previous videos, but you probably heard facts tell, stories sell. So if you just keep telling the facts and features about your business, no one cares. What they care about are the stories. So if you can tell a story of Michael, who went through your program and got phenomenal results, and here he is sharing his story, or Jane that used your product and this happened, those stories will trump just talking about the facts of what you've got going on. And I'll even go as far to say that, like, some of my web pages that I've put together, or some of the funnels, like they stink in the way of design. They don't look very good. But because the content on the page, we've got so many successful students and so many success stories, that trumps having a beautiful page. Like, I am like convinced of this, and I will argue it till the cows come home, and I don't even like arguing. But this is just, it's so prominent to me. I've had webinar presentations where my slides don't look very good. I've got some good training, but I've tested side by side a webinar presentation that had no testimonials, or maybe just a couple. And then I did an updated version of that to the same audience a few months later. We had a bunch of new success stories. I threw those in, and it's always hard to see what variables it was that actually got the results when you change something. But like, this was just undeniable. The new webinar with a bunch of success stories out-converted the old one, like tenfold. It was ludicrous. And I've seen that time and time and time again. So that's the fourth asset that is responsible for a huge amount of revenue in my company, is collecting those stories and letting them fuel my marketing. Not caring about having beautiful pages, making sure everything's working right. If you've got good stories, people are going to come and they're going to follow the crowd. They're going to follow those stories, and they're going to come to your checkout pages. So anyway, those are the 4 biggest assets that I have inside of my company. And you're probably interested in the fact that, look, I'm not talking about, oh, look, I've got this Facebook ad that's an asset. Oh, I've got this thing over here that's an asset. They're not assets. Facebook own those ads. I use the platform, but they own those ads, right? An asset is something that you own and you control, and those 4 things are something that I own and I control, and they're more profitable than anything else. So anyway, hope this was helpful for you. If it was, do me a favor, hit the like button, leave me a comment down below, and let me know which of those 4 assets you're already actioning on inside of your business. And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel here, hit the bell notification to be notified of any upcoming videos that I've got. And finally, if you'd like to learn more about this kind of stuff from me, I've got a detailed online training that you can get access to. I'll leave a link in the description box and also in the top comment. It's absolutely free and I think you'll really, really love it. So go and click on that right now, sign up for that training. You'll absolutely love it. And I will see you in a future video.